one of the things about Peter and all the apostles was the reality that they were human, just like you and me. And they all had real experiences of their fallenness and weaknesses and sins, and they sought to live good, normal lives. As we know, Peter was a fisherman, and this was kind of one of his strengths. As a working man, he was not some intellectual who tried to explain away the obvious reality of understanding moral norms within a society, and also the reality of sin. What is right and wrong is not something that's complex per se, but is something that's quite obvious to all people within a social structure. For what is right and wrong is usually common sense, but it is something people try to explain away as their hearts kind of grow hardened and they make excuses that begin to develop within their soul. So there's all these kind of lies that have to be uncovered by grace to kind of get to man and get to the truth within him. And all kinds of ways that people reason around the obvious truth of their sins. And part and parcel of this is this ignorance that was transmitted at the fall. Now, it is impossible to receive the mercy of God if we do not acknowledge or admit our faults. And this is the result of God's grace, which uncovers sin so as to treat the wound that festers within the person's soul. The Catechism mentions, like a physician who probes a wound before treating it, God, by his word and by his Spirit, cast a living light on sin. This is why when we go to confession, it's this real response to grace, seeking to uncover the sin as to treat it with the healing balm of forgiveness and absolution. And God gives us the sacrament of confession because we all have this Peter experience, where we come to see our sin or sins in the light of truth, and we feel God's presence in this radical closeness. And we think to ourselves the obvious: depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. Or in the other case, a sinful woman. This is where the angels kind of rejoice in all their intelligence, for they see the spell of pride broken in man, and in his humility acknowledging the truth about himself before God, and his need for Christ's redeeming work in their life. For the angels, being highly superior in their intellectual life, finally see man humble enough to realize it was his fault. He fell, and he sinned. And it was not God's or the guardian angel's fault. And all of this happens in the light of these invisible things around us as God's mercy and grace soothe our souls and wash away our sins, those things that weighed us down. And we are lifted up unworthily to share in God's life with his holy angels.